Good evening, everybody. My name is Dan Schraub, and I'm the band director at Lyle Junior High School, and we are so thrilled to have you here with us tonight for our 2020 Virtual Veterans Day performance. We gather here every year to honor the brave men and women of our United States military and all of the sacrifices that they have made for us. Although we'd all rather be together in the junior high auditorium right now like we usually do, we're so proud of our students who have worked very hard these past couple months to learn this music completely virtually and to put this performance together for you this evening. Tonight you will hear from our band students, our choir students, as well as some small features and some speaking parts. We hope you enjoy our 2020 Virtual Veterans Day program. We are going to begin tonight with the singing of the national anthem done by our choir students.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, moved our stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
As citizens, we have a responsibility to acknowledge the contributions and sacrifices veterans have made throughout the years. As Veterans Day approaches, it is imperative to remember those men and women who fought to preserve our freedom. The annual celebration to recognize our nation's nearly 18 million living veterans should not be limited to one day or one single event like tonight's program.
Our nation's history is the history of America's veterans, individuals who stood the watch every moment of every day of every year. Let us never forget on the day. Let us solemnly remember the sacrifices of all those who fought so valiantly.
The First World War came to an end on November 11, 1918 at 11 a.m., the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. This day became known as Armistice Day, recognizing the signing of the armistice between Allied powers and Germany. Armistice Day officially received its name in America in 1926. Through congressional resolution, it became a national holiday 12 years later.
If the idealistic hope had been realized that World War I was the war to end all wars, then November 11th might still be called Armistice Day. But shortly after the holiday was proclaimed, World War II broke out in Europe and shattered that dream. Of the 6 million Americans who served in the armed forces during World War II, more than 400,000 died. Unlike Memorial Day, Veterans Day pays tribute to all American veterans, living or dead, but especially gives thanks to living veterans who served their country honorably during war or peacetime. Our concert band will now perform a song entitled Heroes in Glory.
In his first annual address to Congress in 1790, President George Washington said, "To be prepared for war is one of the most effectual means of preserving peace." And in 1780, the American patriot Thomas Paine wrote these words, "These are the times that try men's soul. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country, but he that stands it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman."
Tonight we are gathered to do just that, to offer our love and thanks to the men and women who did not shrink from service to their country. While it may be possible to count the number of times America's military has been called to defend freedom throughout the world, we will never know how many crises have been avoided because tyrants understood that America's armed forces were prepared to defend our freedom and the freedom of others at any cost. Our symphonic band will now perform a song called Air Force One.
More than 1 million American service members died in the service of this country. More than 3.8 lived with the wounds they suffered while fighting for our country. Nearly 18 million former service members are still living today. They are a special group of Americans we call veterans. Tonight, we honor them and say, thank you for serving. For over 200 years, the Army, Navy, and Marines have participated in every war since the American Revolution. The Air Force originated in 1907 as the Aeronautical Division of the Army Signal Corps, and was later named the Army Air Corps, and finally the United States Air Force after World War II. The Coast Guard has participated in every U.S. conflict since 1970. It operates under the Department of Homeland Security during peacetime and can be transferred to the Department of the Navy by the President during a time of war.
Each branch of the military has a unique mission within the overall mission of U.S. security and peace. The Army is the dominant land power. The Army generally moves into an area, secures it, and instills order and values before it leaves. It also guards U.S. installations and properties throughout the world. Please enjoy the Army song performed by trumpeteers Sidney Buchelt, Andrew Galloway, and Anya Kukowski.
The Marine Corps is known as the U.S. Rapid Reaction Force. They are trained to fight by sea and land and usually are the first boots on the ground. The Navy accomplishes its missions primarily by sea, but also by air and land. It secures and protects the oceans around the world to create peace and stability, making seas safe for travel and trade. Please enjoy the Marines hymn performed by Matthew Valente, Avery Collins, and Ethan Sue, as well as the Navy song Anchors Away performed by Angela Wang, Emily Lesniak, and Lulu Knight.
The United States Air Force is the nation's source of air and space power. The primary mission of the USAF is to fly planes, helicopters, and satellites. The United States Coast Guard's mission is primarily with domestic waterways. The Coast Guard does rescues, law enforcement, drug preventions, and clear waterways. Please enjoy the Air Force song performed by clarinetist Nicole Pascoe, as well as Coast Guard song performed by Robert Brown and Lisa Novikova.
And so, as we honor all who served, those who fought America's wars, and those who fought to keep the peace, let us remember these words of President John F. Kennedy.
Now the trumpet summons us again, not as a call to be arms, though arms we need, not as a call to battle, though unbattled we are, but a call to bear the burden of a long twilight, year in year out, rejoicing in hope, patience in tribulation, a struggle against the common enemies of man, tyranny, poverty, and war itself. Our sixth grade choir will now perform a piece called The Ash Grove.
The ash grove, how graceful, how plainly 'tis speaking, the heart through it playing as language for me. Whenever the light through its branches is breaking, a host of kind faces is gazing on me. The friends of my childhood again are before me. Each step waits on memory as freely I roam. With soft whispers lighting, spring sleeps fast forwarding. The ash grove, alone is my home. The ash grove, how graceful, has been lately speaking, the harp through it playing as language for me. Whenever the light through its branches is breaking, a host of kind faces is gazing on me. The friends of my childhood again are before me. Each step wakes a memory as sweetly I roam. With soft whispers lighting, with sleep fast alarming, the ash grove, alone is my home. The ash grove, alone is my home.
In the words of Ralph Waldo Emerson, whatever you do, you need courage. Whatever course you decide upon, there is always someone to tell you that you are wrong. There are always difficulties arising that tempt you to believe your critics are right. To map out a course of action and follow it to an end requires some of the same courage that a soldier needs. Peace has its victories, but it takes brave men and women to win them. At his inaugural address in 1961, John F. Kennedy said, "And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. My fellow citizens of the world, ask not what America will do for you, but what together we can do for the freedom of man." As we look towards a future of comedy, peace, and service to our country, the concert choir would like to offer their wish for hope and well wishes to everyone here with a song called Let Me Ride.
Swing down, cherry, stop and let me ride. Swing down, cherry, stop and let me ride. Rock me, Lord, nice and easy. I've got a home on the other side. Well, Ezekiel went out in the middle of the field. He said he saw an angel with a chariot wheel. 'Twas nothing too particular about that wheel. He just wanted to see how a chariot feels. Why don't you sing down, cherry, stop and let me ride? chariot, stop and let me ride. Rock me, Lord, nice and easy. I've got a home on the other side. Tony Sinker went down and he got on board.
The chariot went bumping up and down the road.
'Twas nothing too particular, but bumping down that road. He just wanted to lay down his heavy load.
Why don't you swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride?
Swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride. Rock me, Lord, nice and easy. I've got a home on the other side. Swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride. 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 Rock me, Lord, nice and easy. I've got a home on the other
In December 1941, Japan attacked the United States and European territories in the Pacific Ocean. Their advance was halted in 1941 when Japan lost the critical Battle of Midway near Hawaii. By the end of World War II, the United States had suffered a staggering 400,000 casualties. The heroes that gave their lives during the invasion of Normandy on June 6, 1944, handed the Germans one of their biggest defeats of the war. When Japan surrendered on August 15, 1945, the war was finally over in Asia and Allies were victorious.
In 1945, General Douglas MacArthur said, "It's my earnest hope, indeed the hope of all mankind, that from this solemn occasion a better world shall emerge out of the blood and carnage of the past, a world upon faith and understanding, a world dedicated to the dignity of man and the fulfillment of his most cherished wish for freedom, tolerance, and justice."
The World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C. honors the 16 million who have served in the armed forces and those who died. The Korean War Veterans Memorial pays tribute to over 36,000 dead and over 100,000 wounded United States soldiers. The Vietnam Veterans Memorial honors U.S. service members who fought in the Vietnam War, including 58,000 men and women who died. We would like to offer our sincere thanks and gratitude to all veterans of these wars, as well as the most recent conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan. Our concert band will now perform the song Battle Hymn of the Republic.
can take the words of our recent leaders as a guidance for strength and servitude. In the words of former President Barack Obama, "To those who would tear the world down, we will defeat you. To those who seek peace and security, we support you. And to all those who have wondered if America's beacon still burns as bright, tonight we proved once more that the true strength of our nation comes not from the might of our arms or the skill of our wealth, but from the enduring power of our ideals, democracy, liberty, opportunity, and unyielding hope."
Former military officer and United States Senator John McCain said, "Nothing in life is more liberating than to fight for a cause larger than yourself, something that encompasses you but is not defined by your existence alone." And former President George W. Bush said, "Use power to help people, for we are given power not to advance our own purposes, nor to make a great show in the world nor a name. There is but one just use of power, and it's to serve people."
Before we end our program tonight, I just one more time want to give a huge thank you and congratulations to all of our band and choir students that worked so hard to put tonight's program together. I want to reiterate that we have never been in the same room together since this year started. This has been entirely virtual, between lessons, between online classes, virtual platforms that the students use, recording software. We have never been in the same room together, and thanks to the hard work of our students, we've been able to put this performance together. I also want to give a huge thanks to our parents who assisted the students at home getting their videos in. We couldn't have done it without you. I want to thank Dr. Copeland, who did a tremendous job building our choir program here over the past few years. And I also want to thank Mr. Stelmacher, who stepped in for the past month and has done such a good job with our students, helping them get ready for tonight. My colleague, Philip Meyer, on the band side of things, has been tremendously helpful as well, working with the 6th grade band, and I want to thank him. And of course, our administration and our staff here at Lisle Junior High, who continue to be so supportive of the fine arts and everything that we do. We hope you enjoyed yourselves tonight. Music can be a powerful force of unity and healing in tough times, and we hope you felt a little bit of that tonight, and we thank you again. We are going to conclude tonight's program with a tune by the symphonic band called Alamo March.